Hello and welcome to my easy to understand guide to this Times set cover and media language. This video is going to be particularly relevant for you if you are studying AQA GCSE, as it's currently a set text on that specification. If you have a look at the masthead for the Times, it's in a really bold serif font. Serif font tends to make things feel quite fancy, traditional, old-fashioned. And the word the Times makes it feel like the news in this newspaper is going to be current and is going to be relevant to the time that we live in. There's a royal crest just above the masthead as well, and this kind of makes it feel like this newspaper has a legacy, that it's historic and that it's traditional and that you can trust it. It's going to be high quality. The colour palette of the newspaper is mostly black and white, which is fairly conventional for a newspaper like this. It makes it feel quite serious and professional. The red suit makes her feel quite powerful and also adds a sense of danger as well. The image they've chosen of her, it feels quite shocking because she seems very calm and is smiling, and yet there's obviously an article about a big scandal. So it makes it feel quite shocking for an audience, and it makes her feel quite cold, as though she's unbothered by this. The fact that it's quite a formal posed shot, it adds to this feeling that she's a member of the corporate elite, that this is maybe like a professional headshot that she's had done, as though this is a kind of professional photo that she's had done for, perhaps like a website. Whereas, by contrast, the images are unposed and they feel much more natural. And so that adds a sense of realism, and it also adds a sense that they're more working class, more everyday, more normal, more relatable.
The man's facial expression here looks really surprised, and he's positioned just behind his door. It looks like he's been caught, and that makes him feel quite guilty.
When they talk about how she had to give up her CBE, it suggests that perhaps she was forced to, that she's been shamed and had something powerful and respectable taken away from her. There's quite a lot of the use of emotive language here as well. So, for example, phrases like blood on their hands and wrecked lives. It adds to this feeling of drama and entertainment for an audience. But it's also a little bit unusual for the Times. They tend to write articles that are a little bit more formal and objective. So it does suggest that this article is extra shocking if they're using emotive language. But there is definitely a use of more formal language in this in comparison to the Daily Mirror that you're also studying. So, for example, the word remuneration is quite a long, complex word. Not everyone is going to understand that. The scrutiny they're talking about as well. It perhaps suggests that this newspaper is quite formal, quite high class, and maybe aimed at a more educated audience. The layout on the front cover, obviously there's the big main story here, the lead article, and that shows that that's the most important story of the day, the fact that it's been given the most space on the front cover. And the fact that it's got a double page spread to go with it adds to this sense of seriousness of this story. In comparison to the tabloid Daily Mirror newspaper that you've studied, this article and front cover has more dense text, longer writing, smaller images. It does still have the use of things like headlines and subheadings with, one main image, the use of columns, which is fairly conventional as well. Whereas the Daily Mirror had quotes from just one political party, this newspaper has quotes from both parties and both sides, and that makes it feel perhaps a little bit more politically balanced. There is some sense of a narrative going on throughout the article. So, for example, it talks about the post office submasters were just doing their jobs. Then there were these false accusations, which is the kind of disruption to the narrative. The scandal was uncovered. The government got involved, but it's ongoing. There's not yet that narrative resolution at the end. And that's quite common in a newspaper. Perhaps there'll be more stories about this event, this issue, as it unfolds. The references to the bonuses that certain people have received, it makes it seem the system is unfair, that the system is elitist. And again, there's definitely some binary opposition here where we are, as a reader, encouraged to take the side of the victims here. We've got the villain, Vanelle's, she seems quite professional, powerful and wealthy, along with Fujitsu, the company, versus the victims, those sub-postmasters, the working class people, the ordinary people who have been wronged in this. So we definitely get this sense of a villain in the story and the kind of heroes that we are supposed to support and want to succeed. There's also a reference to the TV show as well. And again, these intertextual references will help audiences to feel a little bit entertained. So that was my guide to the media language in these Times set pages. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos, including about these set pages that are going to be relevant to you. And if you would like a video that I don't already have yet, leave a little comment below and I'll add it to my to-do list.